Today, the head of Iran's Atomic Energy Organization repeated a claim from Iran that they have the technical means to produce an atomic bomb. While he says they have no intention of doing so, that should highlight the idea that Iran is getting very close to the ultimate military weapon.
2 weeks ago, President Biden traveled to the Middle East on what he called a national security mission. We know he didn't accomplish much, but this exchange from his joint press conference with Israeli Prime Minister Yair Lapid showed how the United States continues to lead from behind.
Today, you and I also discussed America's commitment to ensuring Iran never obtains a nuclear weapon. This is a vital security interest of both Israel and the United States, and I would add, for the rest of the world as well. I continue to believe that diplomacy is the best way to achieve this outcome.
Words will not stop them, Mr. President. Diplomacy will not stop them. The only thing that will stop Iran is knowing that if they continue to develop their nuclear program, the free world will use force.
And we know Israel understands the existential threat of a nuclear Iran, but does Joe Biden? If he didn't before, he should now. Social media posts over the weekend from Iran's Revolutionary Guard threatened the country would, quote, produce atomic warheads for missiles in a short amount of time with the capability of turning New York into hellish ruins. Secretary of State Antony Blinken triggered those threats this morning with a less than forceful response.
We continue to believe, as I said this morning, that that would be the best path forward, a return to compliance on both sides to the JCPOA, to make sure that we are putting Iran's nuclear program back in a box and averting any kind of crisis.
All right, well, let's talk about this more with our panel of experts, Senate Chairman of the National Iranian Congress, Amir Fkhravar, and former CIA analyst and Chief of Staff of the National Security Council, Fred Fleitz. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. Glad to have you with us this evening.
Good to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, of course, want to get to Iran in just a moment here, but have to ask you, of course, about this breaking news. President Biden spoke about the first drone strike inside of Afghanistan since he pulled the military and all assets from the country in that disastrous withdrawal almost a year ago. Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri has been killed. Amir, talk to us about what this strike means to you.
Honestly, to us as Iranian, doesn't mean that much. If I hear someday Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei have been killed in one of these strikes, it's amazing to the world and to us, all the Iranians, 97% of Iranians who are against this regime. But yeah, the leader of the Al-Qaeda, I know they have been looking to kill him, and hopefully, finally, Pakistan helped the Biden administration to do something positive against the international terrorism network. And or maybe it's we are less than 100 days to the election, and he needed to do something. But let me tell you something. He accomplished something huge, Joe Biden. He is right now almost the father of Iranian mullah's nuclear bomb. He doesn't need to accomplish anything else.
Fred, obviously, I think President Biden, it's a little too late what they've been able to do in terms of Afghanistan, but he did try to make a kind of a victory speech with this Afghan strike. Let's take a listen to what President Biden said.
Now we have eliminated the Emir of Al-Qaeda. He will never again allow Afghanistan to become a terrorist safe haven, because he is gone. And we're going to make sure that nothing else happens.
I mean, this is great news, Fred, but does it really make Afghanistan free of terrorism?
Well, I hope this is what the president said. I will tell you that Zawahiri is very ill, and his lieutenants have already been named. But look, it's good that he's taken out. He's a real monster. But look, Mercedes, we know that this administration tends to say things that are not true, that later have to be rolled back. There's no Western media on the ground. I want to see Congress confirm this. And I'm really skeptical when something like this happens, you know, on the 1-year anniversary of the disastrous U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and just before the midterm elections, Biden just happens to take out the head of Al-Qaeda. I'm skeptical.
Amir, I want to shift to Iran. We saw 2 weeks ago President Biden, he was asked what he would do to keep Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
In the past said you'll do anything, and you say it again, that you'll ensure Iran would not acquire nuclear weapons. Does that also mean, sir, that you would use force against Iran? Is that what that means? If needed?
That was the last resort, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Amir, Iran says they can enrich to 90%. This administration is still just talking. At what point do we reach that last resort that Biden is talking about?
I don't think Biden has the guts to go to the last resort because it takes some other people to do that, like President Trump. But we'll wait for that one. But about the President Biden's weakness, regime could see it for years, for decades. Mullah's regime in Iran, they have been lying. They have been saying, oh, our nuclear program is a peaceful program. We need electricity for our refrigerator, for these type of things. Iran has a lot of the different source of energies, and we didn't need the nuclear energy at all from the start. But they lied, the Iranian regime. And right now, when they have seen somebody that weak at the White House, they are saying, okay, if we want to announce our nuclear bomb, this is the time. And they decided to announce it. And you can see at the United States, sadly, administration right now, and even Antony Blinken, they are trying to just minimize it and say, oh, no, they don't want to do that. But, oh, really, they are right now reaching to the 90%, and probably one of these days, maybe next week, they will announce, ta-da, we do have the nuclear bomb. And as I said, then Biden can have the victory for that one as a father of nuclear bomb of Iranian mullahs.
Fred, let me ask you this, because we know Secretary Antony Blinken did not want to basically talk about the Iranian nuclear talks, but it sounds like they're supportive, or the United States is supportive of what the European Union is doing in terms of coming up with their proposal and possibly accepting this proposal for the Iranian nuclear deal. What are the dangerous results or consequences that could come if the United States engages and accepts the EU proposal on the Iranian deal?
Well, Iran will gain hundreds of billions of dollars in sanctions relief, and it will get $40 to $50 billion in cash that it will spend on terrorism and its nuclear program and its missile program and sending troops into regional states. It's a disastrous idea. This new nuclear deal will be even worse than Obama's nuclear deal. And I got to tell you, these statements by the Iranis right now, they could soon have nuclear weapons, that's not new. We've known that for 20 years. This is blackmail to force the Biden administration to agree to this terrible new deal.
Amir, your final thoughts before we go.
I'm 100% agree with Fred. And when Biden wanted to have been begging this regime, Mullah's regime, to please come and talk with us. Let's have a deal. They had a disastrous JCPOA before, the Iran nuclear deal, and it will be another disastrous bill, which right now directly, this is the first time. Look, we are not talking about a lot of experts. They are saying, oh, many countries, they do have the nuclear bomb. Let's Iran have it too. No, none of the countries in the world said we want to wipe another country from the map with the nuclear bomb. And Iran said that, and right now they are saying we want to just ruin the New York and make it the hellish ruin, what it said. Yeah, the Khamenei, they will do it unless we will see the American president will go and target Iran's supreme leader, the head of the snake, and kill him. And we will celebrate all together.
Well, Amir, Fkhravar, Fred Fleitz, thank you both for your insights tonight. We appreciate it.
Good to be here.